But hi, welcome to today's tasting note. We're actually not going to mess around on this one.
No. This is incredibly serious.
We're gonna try.
Yeah.
It's gonna fail.
Of course it will.
But we're gonna try and be really serious and actually do a proper analysis of Nuits Saint-Georges.
This is interesting. So this is the 2017 vintage. In Burgundy, 2017 was fairly low yielding. It was pretty cool as well. In 2013 is the coolest year of the decade, as we've seen. A kind of a wet period during flowering, which meant that it was difficult for the grapes to pick up and get to full ripeness by harvest time. And that meant quite late picking.
It's oxidized.
Is it?
Smells vinegar.
It's bad. I was just about to say that.
It's oxidized.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yes.
It smells like
It's oxidized to.
Right, what other posh Burgundy do you do?
Okay, so the critical analysis
Yeah.
of this wine is that this is oxidized. So yes, don't
Yeah.
buy this bottle. Have a good day. Bye.
We are now.
Take 2. We are now not going to mess around. We're going to do a critical analysis of this. What is it, Benjamin?
This is Philippe Gavignet, Nuits Saint-Georges, Les Argillats, 2017.
Okay.
Nuits
So-
Saint-Georges is a pretty damn famous village when it comes to Burgundy. The big famous red villages that everyone's heard of is Gavry-Chambertin and Von Robinet, right? Nuits Saint-Georges is one that was what kind of is one of the more accessible villages, I would say. In a lot of 80s programs, you hear people talking about Nuits Saint-Georges. I think it was quite fashionable because it was one of these villages that wasn't as distinctive in the past. Like, for example, it doesn't have any Grand Cru. Some people think that Les Saint-Georges, which the village is named after, should be elevated to Grand Cru, but that's another matter. And so it sort of emerged more in the 80s as one of these more underdog but still traditionally Burgundian villages. And however many reports I read and analysis I read on, everyone wants to know, what is Nuits Saint-Georges? What does it do? What's it all about? Gavry-Chambertin is about intellectual layers and dark broodingness. Von Robinet is about shimmering vibrancy. Chambon-Musigny is about raspberry fruit and femininity. What is Nuits Saint-Georges all about? And I still haven't worked it out. Smelling this, you're getting this lovely earthy element. This like deep black cherry sort of garnety earthiness. It's a touch more wild. It's elegant Pinot, but it's just slightly rough around the edges.
To me, what Nuits Saint-Georges is it's old-fashioned.
Agreed.
It's
not polished.
It's
and
not. No. Polished is the wrong word because that means that it's crude.
No,
or
but
it could be interpreted as to be crude.
but let me
it's
let
not.
me explain that.
Yeah.
Let me explain that. It's not polished in the way that other villages are, where they have clearly defined, very sort of pinpoint fruit.
Yeah.
Nuits Saint-Georges just feels like, if Gavry-Chambertin is sort of like the polished marble floors of a country house, then Nuits Saint-Georges is the ramshackle old library.
It smells. It sounds daft, but it smells like it's made by farmers.
Yeah.
In the fact that this is the sort of wine where a farmer would figure out, oh, I've actually got a good bit of land here.
Yeah.
Makes a wine and he finds out, wow, it's actually brilliant and I
Yeah.
know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that's not to that's a super duper compliment in the fact that I think too much is put on wine, and this isn't just exclusive to Burgundy, this is all over the world. There's always this striving for excellence, and that's good.
Yes.
We want that. But we don't want to lose character.
Exactly.
And this has so much character and so much interest. It's got depth, it's got fruit, it's got layers, it's got savory, it's got sweet, it's got spice, it's got sort of
beautiful.
mellow elements to it.
And I also think,
and it's
on that point, it's great. For example, we've got, basically that move to excellence, that kind of polished, refined movement in Burgundy started with Henri Jaillet, right? He taught an entire generation of Burgundian winemakers to take out the stems when they make the winemaking, so you don't get any of that sort of green notes, to make very pure, fruit-forward, but still rounded and balanced wines. The move at the moment with domains like Dujac and Bruno Claire perhaps as well is to have wines that are more terroir driven in that they're more minerally. They're putting the stems back in, whole bunch pressing, which means that when in a really ripe year the fruits are really polished and big, you've got that green note of the stem to sort of harmonize and balance everything out. I feel like this supersedes, overrides all of that nonsense, and is just itself.
It is.
It's not part of any movement.
Honest.
It's honest, damn good Nuits Saint-Georges that's not in any camp. It's not trying to be anything. It's just Monsieur Gavignet or whoever is running the domain at the moment being like, this is what we make, like it or lump it.
Yeah, and I think it not striving to be excellent makes it excellent, and it's not trying too hard. That's what this wine is. It's not trying too hard.
And
all it's doing is letting the earth be translated into a liquid, and doing it exceptionally well without faffing about and without trying to be too clever about it.
Do you know what? And I also like the fact that there's a lot of oak in here, which I love, and that's also traditional. This is old school. This is proper old school Burgundian winemaking.
And done phenomenally well.
Done exceptionally well. And it's not, there's nothing negative about this.
No.
The fruits are big, but there's a rough and ready element to it. The oak is massive, and it's just so unequivocally itself.
I want some sausages.
I want some sausages. I want some magnums. I want some 6 packs of that, because I've tasted quite a few Nuits Saint-Georges.
Yeah.
Henri Gouge, for example, is famous in Nuits Saint-Georges for making more polished Nuits Saint-Georges.
Yep.
In my opinion, I've had his Premier Cru from 2013, Mes Chavot, I think it was called. His wines famously take decades to come around. However, what his wines are not this. He is, in my opinion, having had this, he's stripped out all of that natural rough and readiness that Nuits Saint-Georges had. He's made beautiful sort of Côte de Beaune-like wines, but there's an element of it that's a touch soulless, and it feels like this beautiful natural character has been polished out of existence. This is what Nuits Saint-Georges should taste like, and it is my favourite Nuits Saint-Georges to date. And
here endeth Ben's application
and I'm gonna cry
now. for a job working for somebody who does a lot of Burgundy.
This is why I live.
It's 50 quid a bottle. We don't have much left. If you want some, get it quick because he's probably going to buy them. Have a good day. Bye.